Authorities in Uvalde, Texas say the gunman encountered a school district security officer outside Robb Elementary before storming the building and killing 21 people. According to local officials, no gunfire was exchanged in that initial confrontation outside. The shooter then went inside the school and barricaded himself inside a classroom. Border Patrol officers responded to the scene. They shot and killed the gunman at least 40 minutes after he first arrived, though. So, Canady is the executive director of the National Association of School Resource Officers and joins me right now. Very, very glad that you are here to talk about this because, you know, this is when we start to talk about, well, what do you need in schools? You need to harden schools. You need resource officers. No, you need police officers. So I just want to clarify the difference. What is the difference between a school resource officer and a police officer who is assigned to a school?
I really appreciate you having me, and I appreciate you asked question. Actually, a full definition of a school resource, and unfortunately, everyone follows that definition. Just because someone's themselves an SRO doesn't necessarily mean that they are. So I don't know about this case yet, but a school resource officer, by definition, there's three parts. They are a sworn certified law enforcement officer. They are deployed in community-based police school environments, collaborative effort between the school district and the law enforcement agency. I was a resource officer myself, 12 of my 20 years with the department I worked for. And so it is a law enforcement assignment, just like being a detective or a SWAT team, but it's the most unique assignment any law enforcement officer can have.
So, Mo, I just want to sort of acknowledge that we're having a little sort of challenge with your audio there. You're kind of cutting it out a little bit. But I want to continue with this because it's an important conversation to have. I think a lot of people remember the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. And there, you know, the school resource officer there faced a lot of criticism. There was talk about whether or not he should face criminal charges, criminal negligence charges, because he stayed outside of the school. What exactly is the responsibility of a school resource officer? Are they trained to intervene in an active shooter situation like what we saw in Parkland?
Well, the short answer is they should be trained to intervene. That's how we were trained when I was an SRO. And from a Nazareth standpoint, for anyone that we train, it's an idea that we absolutely push for certain. You hear gunfire in your school, you respond to the gunfire, and you do everything you can do to stop it or to be able to restrict the movement of that individual and restrict their ability to kill.
Mm-hmm. And I think I need to say this, that many school resource officers across the country stop incidents or problems before they begin. That doesn't make the news. That's, you know what I mean? It doesn't make the news when school resource officers are doing their job superbly. So I want to point that out. On top of having trained SROs, what do you think are some of the viable solutions to help protect students?
I think, first of all, thank you for the acknowledgement on the averted school violence issues. We take a lot of pride in officers being able to do that. I think that, you know, one of the things that I hear every time something like this happens is funding. And that's becoming a very tired excuse. We seem to be able to fund everything else that's important to us. It's time to think about past time, to think about bringing that funding to school safety. So there are many things that need to be in play here. Of course, we believe that every school could benefit from that carefully selected and specifically trained SRO that's there on site on that campus, not having to respond from somewhere else. The other things are some degree of target hardening. We don't want schools to look like a prison. We don't want children to feel like they're going to school in a prison. But yet we want the school to be as safe as possible and to be able to restrict certainly outside entrance to the very minimum. So there are some common sense things that can be done there. I also can't say enough about the mental health issue. You know, as much as I am focused and our organization's focused on SROs as a part of the team, we also need mental health specialists. I was fortunate as an SRO to work with some wonderful mental health specialists in our school district. It is a great team effort, and we need those teammates. And finally, I do need to say something about the issue of threat assessment. There have been some negative feedback on threat assessment from some folks, but threat assessment is very, very important. It's a very important element in schools that we are able to, when we believe we have a threat, to be able to accurately assess that.
Yeah, I think those are all really good points. And I think, the concern about threat assessment is what's the follow through, because we have had situations, Parkland is one of those, where people intervened, people alerted the FBI, they thought things were suspicious, and still the shooter there fell through the cracks. But you're so right about, essentially putting our money where our mouth is. And pretty much everyone that I've spoken to so far, no matter where they land on the issue of things like gun control, they all universally agree that mental health intervention and funding for that is something that would make a significant change. So I'm really glad you brought that up as well. Mo, Canady, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.